Hello everybody, in this video update I will be trying something a little bit different. I'll be going over the features with my voice as well as going through the standard procedure. In this video it's just me again, but today I'll be showing off what was accomplished since the previous week. Now, this update may seem smaller than other updates because we were spending time with family and friends for the holidays, and of which I would like to say happy holidays to you all as well. So for this update, I have multi-tool selection, and it's kind of just lazily changing the color of the gray box tool for now. We will have a model for that later on. It's just right now I'm working on functionality over form. So right now I'm in the inspection tool, and I can inspect this and it'll tell me that it is cannon ammo, standard ammunition for a cannon. That's good. Balsa wood, some balsa wood, birch wood, Ironheart. And all of these features here are actually handled through code. It is detecting what type of material that is and using it that way. It is not a pre-fit description or name. It is taking this information and generating a description for it, and we will be using that to create different adjectives to define crafted items based off of what was used inside of the item as well, which will give a bit of an implication as to the item's history. For this video, I also deleted my character's inventory and my custom ship, but I saved my schematic, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that to create a new ship really quickly. And naturally, with these descriptions, you can kind of have fun with it and just do any description, really. I think I will potentially add the option to have customized descriptions, but that will be something that players will be able to toggle on and off seeing, because naturally people can have some pretty creative minds with what they write, and profanity filters only go so far. People will find ways to bypass those and all that, but you can just kind of slap whatever. Each item has its own definition for its description. They're not hard set by anything. Each and every one could be unique, but obviously they have to be limited to make them make any sense. They can't just be any crazy words. So if I inspect this deck, it'll tell me it's made out of cedar. And the repair tool doesn't highlight anything because it's all full health. So I'm going to go ahead and damage this cedar, and you'll see that it's taken some damage. In here, I only have balsa, iron, and birch, so I cannot fix this. It says that it needs cedar, and unfortunately, in my world, I do not have a source of collectible cedar. So I'm going to move this guy core out of the way and demonstrate this once again by generating a deck out of, let's say, birch. I'll make it a quality 3 because why not? So now that we have our birch, we are going to inflict some damage onto it. And now you'll see the highlight is green. I have 960 birch wood. If I start to repair it, it costs 1 point per recovered unit of health. And when it's fully repaired, that's all that happens. It says it doesn't need repaired anymore, but it still lets me highlight it green. That's something that I need to look into. I think it lets me do that because it is not attached to the ship, but once it's attached to the ship, the logic is handled differently. That would be correct. So I'll have to go back and fix that up later. So with that said though, in the upcoming weeks, there will likely be very underwhelming updates in contrast to what you were used to seeing. This is because a lot of the core mechanics of the game are in place and they just need to be, bug fixed. They need optimizations, and I need to start building a library of different items and descriptions for everything, as well as figuring out the formulas used in calculating the stats of all these items. And I know I need to work on the swivel guns and more kind of personal combat, but that's something I'll be putting on hold until I really patch any leaks in the current system that I have, because I'd rather, send out a game that's ready to go than have it be buggy first, patch later. And while I do plan to have a bug testing phase, a lot of these bugs are very straightforward and don't really justify having bugs sent, like a bug report be sent or any of these other things, so it's not worth all that extra drama. So anyways, With all that said, with the Discord server, there was a poll that was recently made regarding a milestone of members joined, and on there people could choose between 3 different item types to have added to the game. Because of the holidays though, and albeit a little cheesy, I'm going to be adding all 3 to the game, but I will be adding an extra feature to the Figurine Collection that was not originally mentioned. So when it comes to Figurine Collection, you will have a base platform, kind of like a table where you will store these figurines that you collect. And what happens when you collect the figurines is that any character who is bound to the ship will receive a micro buff for different figurines that they have. So you can have a figurine that might make your character run slightly faster, or jump slightly higher, or be a bit more immune to face planting on hard surfaces. There are several different features and creative options in this, micro buff setting, and I don't think it will necessarily be game breaking because there'll be very, very small buffs that shouldn't matter immensely, but collectively when you have them all it could add up to be quite a bit. I think this will also add a lot more of a desire for players to try to trade with one another in order to have these figurine sets. Because I do know that I plan to make the blueprint for obtaining one, if there is one, mind you, it will be quite hidden, so that players will actually have to try to collect these. With that said, I think I'll be wrapping everything up, and I'll see you guys in the next week. And as always, thank you all so much for your continued support. I look forward to seeing this game, flesh itself out and start looking like a real world instead of this giant testing chamber. But we have most of the core mechanics down. There will be a few more mechanics that will be introduced that have not been announced or even hinted at yet, but those are a surprise that will be waiting for the future. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you next time.